Welcome back, everybody, to our second episode of Oversteer and Underdogs. I'm your host, Rob, with my co-host here, Dean.
How
And
you guys doing?
we just wanted to take a moment, thank everybody who came out last week, listened to the first episode, watched it on YouTube, and then also the immense amount of following that we've gotten on our socials. We just want to thank everybody who's already started to come along for the ride. And we are here for episode 2, and boy, do we have a lot to unpack from yesterday's race. I'm going to kick that to you to get that started.
Where do we start? You
I
want to start all
know.
the way at the top or all the way down the bottom? Because there's stuff going on all the way
Oh,
through and through.
there
I
is.
feel like we should start with the elephant in the room, championship battle.
Yeah, I like
Just
that.
that's the biggest thing going. I mean, that's why we all do it, right? That's why we're here. Poor Lando, my God, he does everything right.
Everything right. Running well. Had good pace.
Just what a rough day. If Monza's not the race after this, he probably has a new power unit, doesn't have a failure.
Yeah,
It's a different story.
that's what
But
they were saying. Like they might be able to pull some things from this car, but like they have less than a week to be ready. Literally.
yeah, thing was on fire. We all saw it. We don't know. Nobody knows how bad it was, but
Would they
fire's
say
bad.
oil from turn 6 to like 12 or something like that?
Yeah, and he noticed it. What was it? 3 or 4 turns before it actually got that bad. I think.
Talking
I
about
remember hearing
smoke
over
in
the
the
radio.
cockpit, you couldn't even see it until it came down to when he started slowing down.
Yeah, I think he more than likely. I'm guessing he just smelled it before anything. But it
Yeah.
was, besides the implications, nobody did anything wrong there. Guys
No.
just driving the car, teams building the car the way they're supposed to. Power unit lasts so long. And we saw the same thing happen with, who was the other guy that had the failure there during practice? There's another engine that had a failure during practice, same type of deal.
Yeah.
We're holding off to Monza because we want a fresh engine for Monza. It's just, you need the horsepower. So just unfortunate happenings for him. But, there's not a whole lot you can do. He ran a great race. I think whether he came P1 or P2, we'd be talking the same way we did last week about it. What's going to happen? Who's going to be so close? It's such a close race. And now with 0 points and your teammate gets all the
He
points.
gets all the points.
That's rough.
He's what, 36 points up now?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a rough change.
And I mean, honestly, I don't see no power failure. I don't see Lando beating Oscar that race because Oscar had such a good pace. He was starting to pull on him. But again, instead of 36, you're only down 19.
Exactly. It happened with less than 10 laps to go. There wasn't much that was going to happen.
Down 2 seconds, I think he had the gap at that point was 2 seconds, unless Orlando really put something together on those last 10 and 12 laps, or however many it was. I don't see him winning it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But second place, second place would have at least kind of relieved some of the burning on that, some of the sting a little bit from not getting first. But
and the nicest way it no, that's the thing. In the nicest way, it keeps you in the battle mentally. Not to say he's totally out of it. It's one race, it's not. It is what it is. We've still got, you got 9 more, plenty of time. You can catch up.
Yeah.
We saw it happen. Look at Australia, right? First race of the season, Oscar's off into the water, middle of nowhere. Lando gets first place. Then you come back, that got made up by Canada. Lando wrecking into the back of him. It didn't win the race, but that's the day he got points that Lando didn't. That's it. It has a way to even it out. I think it still will. I don't see this race not coming down to the last round. I don't see it,
especially now. And this is, I mean, we talked about it last week. This is talking about how like it literally only will take 1 or 2 races for we'll say 2 or 3 races for one of them to take off. Lando's down 1 race.
And in a way, it's gonna, the end of the year, it's gonna affect the way it's looked at too, right? We're gonna look back. We're gonna say this is what made the difference, right? If Oscar wins, we're gonna go back and we're gonna be like, if that power unit doesn't fail, this is a different story. Lando wins the championship. There's a high likelihood that's the conversation we have. But Oscar's also had the wherewithal to keep it as close as he had having similar issues,
Yeah.
with strategy, or having that race in Australia with all that, going off in the wet and getting stuck for felt like 5-10 minutes, but I'm sure it was like 30 seconds, but
Yeah.
felt like forever. But I'll be curious to see if Lando comes back either extra pissed off or if he's a little complacent and feeling sorry for himself. Over the radio, before the summer break, we were talking about, how he's the nice guy, right? He's very nice. He accepts responsibility for everything immediately.
Yeah.
Kind of the opposite of, say, some other certain very good drivers who don't think that way. You're always the best. I know there's a famous conversation out there with Schumacher where he gets asked, "Have you ever been wrong about anything?" And he says, "No, absolutely not." It's a mentality that they have,
Yeah.
Lando thinks differently, and he's had a lot of critics because of it. But I'd be curious to see how he comes back. I think after this summer break, hearing him on the radio after it failed, his team telling him, "You were fast.
He's
You were
like,
really
yeah,
fast. We're
I
sorry." And he
know.
goes, "I know I was fast. Of course I was fast."
Yeah.
That's that.
He's like, that doesn't
It's
help
not
me
that
now.
I'm sorry. Right. That's a comment that I wouldn't expect to hear from Lando before the summer break. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to see that, as much as I'm sorry for him, but
Yeah.
I'm happy to see that.
And one thing too that, I mean, what just happened to him can still happen to Oscar. Like,
Absolutely.
engine failure, any type of mechanical failure can hit anyone. It does not discriminate. It does not choose favorites. It happens at any given time. And there's still enough time where that could happen to Oscar. So that happens, boom. He's
Absolutely.
right
We're
back
right
in
back
it.
in it.
We're right back to 9-point difference at that point.
Exactly.
Or again, he gets spun out, gets filtered to the back of the pack, doesn't
Yep.
get to 10th or better. He's right back
Anything
in
can
it.
happen.
Anything can happen. So that's what he's got to keep his mindset on and just be able to come into, especially Monza with how well he did last year, getting pole position, still getting a podium, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
I think he got podium last year. Just making sure that he keeps that mindset, knowing that he is one of the two best drivers right now in the best car that is out there, that you had a one-off of the whole entire season happen. So he's just got to keep
Absolutely.
that mindset.
Absolutely. I agree. Let's
Well,
talk about
real quick, when they
Yeah.
panned to him and Charles.
I swear to God, Charles sat on top of that hill waiting for a photo shoot.
The rest of the race, I swear he sat there the rest of the race almost.
If he wasn't a race car driver, he'd just be a model. He loves it.
And it was funny. He had his phone up trying to listen to commentary that was going on, or maybe he was talking to somebody. I don't know.
Who knows?
The announcers, of course, made the joke. Oh, he's trying to listen to our amazing commentary right now. But like, he's literally going like this with cars going by with his phone up to his ear, just hanging out. But they got to pay those cameramen some money, extra money on that. When they panned from one to the other, had both of them set, I'm like, that's pure gold right there.
It is. But it really highlighted, the intensity and the disappointment that was happening through this race. I mean, from turn one, like, it was craziness. Max,
Gee,
come on. That's a video
dude,
game move. And he's disappointed with how he only got one position. Come on.
you're lucky you stayed on, bro. Like, I know you're Max Verstappen, but at the end of the day, that does not discriminate to anybody, but you able to keep it and you got one. So, but it didn't matter at that point because again, he had he got that position for what, like 10 laps? And
he
then
knew
Lando was just like,
he knew he wasn't going to keep it, but he's Max Verstappen.
in the cool down room when they're watching, when he gets passed by another, again, Lando kind of pulling some moves that we've seen him hesitate on before around the outside, but when he goes and passes, when Lando passed them, he's like, bye.
Exactly.
He waved at the screen.
Dude,
all three of them started laughing.
It just that sequence between lap 1 and 2 was just amazing. To watch Max do exactly what Max does, completely throw a car in an unsavable position, hoping that it works out, and it just does because he's him, and he just
in a bucket.
He can do that.
That thing is an absolute turd, and he's still driving it.
He's the best, right? Like he has that innate instinct to do what he does. It's amazing, and absolutely, it was fantastic to watch Lando be able to throw that same move back. That was another thing that was really like, wow, Lando's fixing his attitude a little bit here. The second half, he's understanding what's at stake.
And
He's
that's what I said. If he can get the racecraft that he has, if he can just grow a couple
yeah,
of somethings and get that kind of mentality you were just talking about, how when he was on the radio, like, yeah, I know I
mm-hmm.
was driving well. Like getting that moving forward and doing passes like that and doing maneuvers and moves like that, it's gonna be pretty close to unstoppable.
Right. And this is when we're starting to get close to that kind of that old NASCAR adage, right? Checkers or wreckers. We're getting close
We're
to
getting close.
where that's the mentality you're going to have. Oscar, I think, has been there, and Lando's approaching it. And I don't know which one's more dangerous, the guy who lives there or the guy who's just found it.
Because that's gotta be a great feeling. When you find that
Yeah.
feeling, like
Yeah. One of
when
them
you
hasn't found the
oh,
edge of it. That's the thing.
yeah.
So it's good. We got a lot going on, I think. I mean, like I said, you got Max throwing crazy moves out there. He ends up with a podium because the car failed. He ends
I
up
mean,
there still.
hey, if you can be both good and lucky, that's better than if you can't be good, be lucky. So, like, he got
Hey,
both of them that day. He was in the
yep,
right place, right time, and
yep,
ended up P2. He was gonna get a podium regardless, but he got a
yeah,
second, got one up from what he thought he was. So,
yeah. And then you got to talk about, of course, the feel good
uh,
story of the day, right?
I
You
didn't know
gotta
that was you gonna say.
you gotta have the feel good story of the day, Hadjar, right?
I love
You
that
gotta be
kid.
happy. Kid goes from putting it in the barrier on the parade lap at the first race of the year, getting hugs from Lewis Hamilton's dad, getting thrashed by Helmut Marko, to he's standing on a podium, breaking his trophy in half. Come on, that's awesome.
You gotta love
You
it.
gotta,
And he's just been like, what? I think he's had 5 top 10s this year, now 6,
yeah,
6 top 10s.
yeah,
His best finish up until yesterday was 5th. Like, he's doing really well. And then to finally come out again, was not guaranteed a podium until that engine failed, but he was holding off George. He was holding off Leclerc.
mm-hmm.
Like, he was holding off people that you don't normally see a rookie holding off like that. And he was just positioning himself properly. And I think that he is going to be very dangerous if he does go to Red Bull next year. And if Red Bull can get their car back together and not
Yeah,
make it just a one-sided garage.
absolutely. I mean, look, it's in the name. He's the underdog, right?
Yeah.
I'm always
We
happy to see
love
an
it. We
underdog do
love
good.
it here.
This is why you race, right? This is it. If it was all just the best is going to win all the time, this car's the best, it's going to win. What's the point? You
Yeah.
have stuff like this happen. Come on, it makes it exciting. I remember I actually went back and rewatched that race a second time, full last night, just because I wanted to see that. I wanted to see specifically Hadjar and how he held off Leclerc, Russell, like in front running teams
Yeah.
in what's supposed to be lower, lower mid pack. That's just, it was so good to see the kids obviously come a long way every time. Watching the timings, watching Leclerc or Russell get within like 6/10, all of a sudden he'd just stretch the gap out to 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's just at a track like Zandvoort where it's all a lot of tight twisties, very short track. You don't have speed to make it up with. That's cornering skill.
Yeah.
That's skill. That's just pure. That's pure driver ability. Never mind the car's pace. It was really good to see.
Yeah.
I'm sure you enjoyed it too.
Yeah, no, it's seeing I mean, I just loved the end. Like, I rewound it in the F1 app, went back to the last quarter of the last lap just so I could go to Hadjar's like own video so I could watch his celebration and hear him. That kid was hooping and hollering, he was screaming, he was fist pumping.
Yeah.
I was like, and then you see the team, you see Racing Bulls, and they're bawling their eyes out. Like, they're
Yeah.
all jumping up and down because, again, the underdogs, like, you don't see them
Yeah.
up there even near the podiums. And it
Right.
was just really cool to see that. And then when he's getting out everyone, like, hugging them, high fives, his jump into the crowd, like, it was just so good. And then obviously what you already said, when he barely clinked that thing on the ground and it snapped clean in half.
But can we talk about when he got out of the car and they're showing Zach Brown, smiling, being all happy, how's he going to present himself about this? And you just have the lost child of Isack Hadjar looking for his team because he doesn't know where to go.
Leaving.
He's
Oh
just
my
looking around.
God. Speaking
Where
of
are
not
you guys?
knowing where to go, when he walked out to get his trophy and he goes to the left and there's
Amazing.
nothing there.
That's one of those guys, he's a guy there. They're all doing a job, right? They get paid to do this, but he's somebody who realizes I get to race a car for a living as fast as I want.
As
And that's
fast as
just,
I can.
this is awesome. This is amazing. I get to have fun my whole life. How great is this? And that's a guy you love to see do well, right?
Yeah.
That's a guy I want to root for. It's that Danny Rick kind of, I just want to do this. This is awesome. This is great. I remember last year when he lost the F2 championship, they had to talk him into, they're telling him he didn't want to go to the ceremony. And eventually he's like, you know what, I'm going up there. I'm going to celebrate my friend. But that's a kid who's passionate. And when he came in, they said, he's a hothead. He's another young Yuki. He's not going to be able to hang. But he turned that, what people perceived as just anger, into, he's showing that it's just passion.
Yeah.
It's passion that he has the ability to use the way he needs to. And I'm just, if I could see him, I'd love to say congratulations. Just so happy for the kid. So happy for him.
I will say one thing. They celebrated the first podium properly for somebody, unlike like what happened with Hulkenberg.
Yeah, I know.
That still rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, I get it. It did. Regardless of what happens that day, everybody should be happy for the guy who made the biggest achievement in his career so far. Hulkenberg, kind of crappy to ask him, your first trophy's made out of Legos. How do you feel about it? And not
even like, I saw the still of the celebrations on the podium with Hadjar and the celebrations for Nico. And it was literally like, they're all spraying Hadjar with the bottle and everything. And then you got the two McLarens with Hulkenberg that were all butthurt about the race and the strategies and the this and the that and the politics. And it's like, damn, this dude has been in racing for 13 years.
Yeah. I do think if it was the two McLarens up there, I do think that the celebration might have been similar. Just, I don't know what the right way to think about it. Just two guys in a championship fight. They're on the same team.
One of them's going to be upset. Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I think.
But then you have Max, who's like,
having Max up there is like, he's just happy to still be there.
They're calling him the nanny of the rookies. Like,
awesome.
He's taking all of them under his wing. And so I think he was immediately like, nope.
Oh yeah. Max is just the guy. He's changed so much. He's gone from the guy with no personality to the guy who just has fun all the time now. Maybe it's, having that weight taken off of, I'm not a championship car anymore. I don't need to be laser focused to a certain level. He realizes. But even in the press conferences, they're asking him about the 1985 Grand Prix, right? It's Oscar, Lando, and Max. Who was on the podium? And all three of them said the same thing. I don't care. And Max said, as Oscar and Lando, and then Max is just, I couldn't care less. It's his whole Grand Prix. He doesn't care. Not just, I don't care. I literally could not care less. Okay. Sure. Like, thanks, Max.
Sometimes I wonder, like, do you really think you're going to get a real, like, actual response to this question? Like, do you think your question's out before you ask these guys who are about to go out and qualify and practice and race?
What insight is that
in 1985? Like,
who cares? Honestly, at the moment when you're getting ready to go, who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares? Oh, cool. Thanks. I'll use that next time I play Jeopardy. Great.
Literally. I guess we should probably talk about.
Yeah. I'm sure they want to forget about it as much as anybody else.
As much as we do. Yeah, that was rough. I mean, horrific day. No points.
Well,
Not only do you not
couldn't
get
be
any
worse.
points, both of your cars got pretty mollywopped, one worse a little bit than the other. Lewis, I mean, he was flirting with that turn the whole 12 laps that he was out there, and then the rain
Yeah,
came down.
yeah,
He was
just that did
talking
it.
about the car was twitchy already, the back end was twitchy, and then you mix that in with the slick paint, which we all know, like, does not
Yep,
matter what you're racing in,
yep,
what car you're in, if you're on a sim or
yep.
if you're in the real world.
That's right.
If you hit a patch of paint with some rain in an already twitchy car, you're
Oh,
gonna lose
gone.
the back end, and unfortunately, he just couldn't bring it back, and then after that, we have just a rookie mistake, unfortunately, bottling up Charles.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, Kimmy's. I think he was trying to get back into the swing, not necessarily of driving an F1 car, but confidence.
Yeah.
Right, kid's trying to. He's had a terrible last 8 rounds, I think. He started off pretty great. Looking good in Australia, looking good all the way through Miami. Of course, getting the pole to what we've had these last 3 months of just either bad luck, rookie
Stupid
mistakes.
mistake.
It's just the kid obviously has the ability. He's just trying to kickstart himself, and I'm sure that's what he was working on through.
Yeah.
Stuff's going to happen. It sucks that the person he had to affect with it is Charles.
And somebody who was actually again, I mean, we talked about it earlier. Charles had the potential to be top 5, if not on the podium, the way he was running.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, if you're Ferrari in the first place, qualifying, what was it, 6 and 7, 6 and 8, yeah, 6 and 7,
6 and 7.
It looks that's a good feeling coming back. Being number 2 in the constructors, you're going to want to qualify. I would, in my mind, top 5 every week, just to preserve that. But we thought we were going to get a little bit of a breath of fresh air here, and unfortunately, just neither driver could. They fell victim to the track. It just stuff happens. Same corner,
same exact corner,
and it's a very unique corner to the track.
Big
For a rookie
swooping
too. That's another thing.
You have the banking there that I just don't understand. Again, like, this is, I mean, it's how the track is set up, but like, why do you have to have 20 yards of paint right there? Like,
I know.
why do you
It,
have to have that?
it's one of the things that makes the track unique.
Yeah.
That
drone footage of that turn was so cool from above.
It's awesome.
Oh,
even like the onboards that self-level, it's awesome.
yeah.
But you talk about favorite tracks, and like there's favorite tracks I feel like, for me at least, there's favorite tracks to race, favorite tracks to watch. For me, favorite tracks to race, that one would be on there. Just the unique banking. It adds a different feature. It's not always my favorite. This year was one of my favorite races to watch, but it's not always. It does
So far, one of the most
always have the best
action-packed
racing.
ones we've had.
Yeah, this year I don't know what turned it around. It's not usually like that, but
Yeah.
it is,
Because you don't have a lot of
definitely one of those
passing,
ones that's just unique.
not a lot of overtakes, but I feel like there was
a lot this time.
Charles on Russell, that was
Yeah.
I mean,
How do you feel about that move he put on Russell?
he had 3 wheels off. He should have given the spot back.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think it was an aggressive move.
I mean, I loved it, but like, it was, and I mean, we know how each other feels about George.
Yeah, right. Well, right. But I mean, it's the racing we used to have a lot more. It's the new age of F1's a lot different, right? Don't touch. If you touch, we'll talk about it in a second, but look at Carlos Sainz. Just saying. But like, if cars touch, we're typically just looking at penalties. You're looking at something. Back in the day, you had cars running each other off the road and passing each other in the grass. Craziness.
Yeah.
Now, they'd lose. The FIA would absolutely lose their mind watching the old races. And I say old very relatively. You're talking 2015, 2014. Like, it was different. But Charles, I think he's another one. He's a little down on himself, trying to build that confidence, and I
driving
think
a donkey.
And I think that's some of what made this race so exciting. Is you had a lot of guys in that boat, right? You had Hamilton, who really needed to throw that car around and kind of get back in a groove. Charles need to get back in a groove. Kimi just needs to get himself going. Even George, right? George has had a great first half of the season, as begrudgingly as I say it. But
He's been
he
a
did.
little stagnant with, I mean, again, I feel like he's still, as much as we're not a fan, I
He's Mr.
feel
Consistent.
fourth and fifth all day long with a sprinkle in a third place here and there. I feel like
He's
his worst this year has been like eighth.
Yeah, I'm not going to say he's the greatest driver of the grid. He's been very, very good though.
But he's just consistent with it. And
I can
again,
trust him to go in and get points any day.
any day, and he has to right now. With unfortunately, with what we keep saying with Kimi, he's the only one coming through with points.
Yeah, I think Kimi will get there. It's going to take him a little bit of time, but he'll get there. But then we got to talk about the badness of FIA.
Yeah, no, literally, you just said it. Like, Carlos Sainz 10-second penalty is bullshit. Absolute trash.
When they said he got a 10-second penalty, I literally had to go back and find where they might have touched. Because I was like, what do you 10-second penalty for what?
You can see Lawson snap back, too. You can see it snap. If anything, it was a racing incident.
Absolutely. There shouldn't have been a penalty on either side. You know, Lawson's defending. He's doing the right thing. He's running on wide. He has a little
snap. If the penalty was on anybody,
happens.
I feel like it should have been on Lawson. I don't think. I think I was as shocked as Sainz was.
Absolutely. If you absolutely had to throw a penalty out there, which I wouldn't, and I just don't think either one's. I don't think it's a penalty either way. But if you held me down and said I had to pick a penalty, Lawson, but still,
and that has no bias. The fact that we like Sainz, that has no bias. I feel like Lawson.
Look, it could. He snapped a little bit.
He snapped,
but it wasn't a bad move though. Like he was just running him. He's racing him.
I will say that Sainz's comment about like this guy does it all the time. I mean, he's not wrong. There's been a lot of instances where Lawson is like, he's about to get overtook and he does a little snappy move. He does move under braking or whatever the case, and he gets away with it.
Yeah. I mean, they should talk to him. The FAA should bring him and talk to him. But I don't think a penalty was necessary that day. I know.
That blew my mind. The fact that he's like, yeah, they won't even talk to me.
Look, I could go into a tirade about FIA. Honestly, there's a lot of things that have happened over the last few years, but that's it. So that's a subject on its own.
Yeah. That was completely unnecessary. Unfortunately, we do have another penalty to look forward to for Lewis. So not only did he knock himself out of that race, he now has the 5-place grid penalty next week at the home track for Ferrari. And not only that, the way that he's been qualifying, I would say, unless he pulls something out of the bag of tricks, we're looking at P10 best for qualifying after the penalty. P10 best.
Talk just about Monza for a bit, our upcoming race here. You know, qualifying, like you're saying, I agree. I think, Hamilton's not going to be that high up the order. Might be mid-pack. But Hamilton does have a thing with emotional races, I'll say. Right? Like Silverstone. No matter how bad anything's going, he always does well. He did have the first time in a long time that he didn't get on the podium this year. But, he still performed. He outperformed the vehicle. I have a feeling it's going to be something similar in Monza here, where he's going to have one of those Lewis Hamilton, watch what I can do races. And I only really say that because this is a track where McLaren's going to have a harder time too, because their car it's obviously classes above right now. But the only places they really suffer are high-speed tracks. Well, Max winning over at, the last Italian race there. That's another high-speed track that they couldn't keep him behind. These high-speed tracks are where they struggle. High downforce tracks, their tire management is so much farther above everybody else.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about the brake ducts, right? That's the thing, the rear brake ducts. That's where they're doing this. Nobody can figure out how they're doing it. The FIA knows because they've had 4 inspection via Christian Horner complaints. But I think Ferrari, if they truly can show up and deliver a high-speed package that works out, we're looking, they might be okay. But We'll be interested to see. I feel for Ferrari right now. I think they're
Really
going to be
behind the 8 ball
clawing.
with everything. Yeah. They unfortunately they put themselves in the corner.
They did.
No one else is obviously like the Kimmy incident sucks, but like at the end of the day,
Yeah,
that is a drop in the bucket compared to what's happened this season with between
absolutely.
strategies
Absolutely.
between both sides of the garage. Just driver failure. Like as much as we love
Yeah.
Lewis, like he
Yeah,
hasn't been
it's
great. Charles has had some bad races. Like
yeah.
just no
The
pace with some of these things.
just the communication at the beginning of the year was the big thing, right? Because we can all hear it and see it. Oh, there's water leaking in the car. Oh, it must be the
Must
water.
be the like what? Come on.
Come on. It's
Come
just
on.
or Lewis repeatedly have to tell him, please stop giving me information. I only want information here and here.
Stop
That's it.
talking to me when I'm overtaking. Stop talking to me when
Yeah.
I'm in a turn.
I know how to push to pass. I understand. It's like these things that they were pulling out, that was the big issue. And they've seemed to resolve that for the most part now.
Yeah.
It's Ferrari, so it's always going to happen, but it's better. Then it's just getting used to a car they changed. I forget what they said. Was it 90% new or whatever?
Yeah.
Clearly a bit of a mistake. You went from being a car that was competing to win the constructors to you're holding on to second, but first place is about 900 yards that way. You're holding on to it. That's it. You're not competing
And
with anybody.
who's did is Mercedes in third, right?
Yeah.
And then Red Bull's in fourth,
Yeah.
which is wild because you mean Max is in fourth
Max
for
is
the
in fourth, yeah.
constructors championship.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
man is trying to pull that back by himself. And at the end of the day, think about it. Russell is keeping them in third. It's not Kimmy and Russell. Kimmy's grabbing maybe 1 or 2 points here and there.
Exactly. If George has a better teammate, right, or a better scoring teammate, I should say,
They'd be second.
they're not in second this year. Same thing with if Max has a equivalent or a better car, he's in third or second also.
Yeah. Ferrari is
Sweet
getting, like you said, holding on. That is it.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
McLaren's comfy. They even said it. They could miss the next like 7 races and still come back in the lead and then be able to finish out
McLaren
the season.
as a conglomerate doesn't necessarily care what happens right now.
No.
It's just, we have this tied up. It's some like 1% of this happens and this guy does this guy forgets to miss his, he forgets his plane, then we lose. But no, that's pretty wrapped up.
If they take each other out the next 9 races,
look, it's all about drivers' championship. That's all that's left.
that's all they care about at this point.
McLaren, if somebody from McLaren ever listens to this, please stop telling them to not race each other hard because it really bothers me.
It does. It does. And
Next
then
time Oscar lunges at him from 200 feet back, just let him do it.
The other thing too is like, Ferrari for next week, can we stop with so many lift and coast calls?
Well, the problem is China, right? They wore that plank out.
Yeah.
And ever since then, they're so afraid. That car is optimized to run like so much lower, and they can't do it because they just end up blowing the plank off. And lift and coast is unfortunately what happens. We saw it in Hungary. How pissed Charles was.
Charles like, yeah, I swear, if you guys say it
so
one more
mad.
time.
So mad. He's like, I guarantee he would have rather have come in first and been disqualified after.
Literally.
He was so angry. But I get it. To be told you can't go as fast as you want, even though you actually can.
Like, you could be 2-3 positions up, but I'm going to need you to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This car's capable of it, just not legally.
And that's, again, like, they're holding on to everything, not just the constructors, the positions that they have in each race. So next week,
in a way, I feel like they're holding on to their drivers almost.
Yeah.
Charles has been there since what, 18?
I think so.
19 or 18? It's 18, I think.
Yeah.
He's got to be the guy's one of the most talented drivers on the grid. Everybody knows it.
Yeah. He's proving it.
Ferrari's going to need to think about how to keep him somewhat soon.
Next season, I think, is going to be a big change for teams like that, and for
Yeah,
teams
I agree.
and drivers like that. Because as much as we talk about how Lewis is used to the old cars, this whole new setup over the past few years really kind of took him out of his element. I honestly think that half the field's going to be driving different next year with the new setup that's coming out, with the
Yeah,
new
and
aero options, the new
yeah,
motors, everything, the new size of the vehicles. Like, you're going to see a lot of drivers who haven't been performing like they used to. I feel like Max is also
yeah,
going to come out of the woodworks again too, as like he's going to be fighting for that first, second place position every race. It's not
yeah,
going to be McLaren by themselves anymore.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we can take a minute to talk about just the stuff coming for next year, I mean, we might as well, right? We're here.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, Lewis has struggled, like you said, he's struggled through these ground effect era cars. They're still gonna have ground effects. They're getting rid of the Venturi tunnels for the most part. Uh, it's gonna be, I think it's 30% less downforce in the current vehicle. When they are first coming out here, we're actually going to be slower than the current vehicle lap time wise. Straight line, we're going to be a lot faster with the straight line mode and cornering modes, but that pace will come over time with the power
Yeah.
units and being well over 1100 horsepower at the end of the day and all this crazy stuff that's going to be happening. But guys like Lewis, who thrived in that less downforce era, I'll be curious to see if he bounces back to kind of where he was at the end of 21.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd love to see that be what happens again. Would be 21. Okay, Max and Lewis, let's have it.
Yeah.
Round 2, let's get it done.
Gosh, that
Fernando
would be
Alonso.
insane.
Yeah,
If
Fernando
Fernando,
Alonso is another guy. He's another guy who he's just. I mean, the guy's 44. Yeah, 44. And he still drives F1 cars as well as he does. That's
yeah,
great.
and
FP1, FP2, they were in top 3. Where'd that come from?
throw him in a car that can actually perform on race day.
Right.
We
And I
see
think we're
him
gonna
getting
get it.
top. Yeah.
We got
Uh,
Newey. We got Adrian Newey on it.
and you got
He's the
Newey
man.
on a new car, and
It's a real Newey.
a real Newey car, and just a lot of potential. That's gonna be. I honestly
Yeah.
didn't even think about
Yeah.
Fernando until you
And
just said that, and that's gonna be
look at
something
and a
cool to
new
see.
partnership with Honda, right? So this is going to be very interesting. I think Aston Martin has a real opportunity here with Fernando, especially. Of you know, this is a guy who he said publicly, to truly end my career and be happy would be another championship, and then to win the Dakar Rally. That's what he wants to do. I don't know how much longer he has to actually compete in F1. He is 44. I
Yeah,
think if the car is very poor next year, he stops. If they give him a good machine, I think he has probably another 2, 3 seasons in him. Just the way he is,
yeah,
he has that mentality. He's an amazing racer. Most race starts of any guy ever in F.
yeah.
If you actually look at the list of all the drivers he's lined up against, it's I forget how many pages it is, but it's incredible.
I
The
mean,
guy's
that's why
just an animal.
he's the Tom Brady of Formula One.
You really? How did you know you were going to be able to pass Michael on that turn?
Oh, I love this.
But he's got a wife and kids at home, so he was going to hit the brakes.
I knew he was gonna
Guy's an
lift.
animal. He's an
Like,
animal.
just insane
He's
to
an
have that
animal.
mentality.
Yeah, and he still has it though. He still has it. That's the thing. He never lost it. He's a little bit more insightful now, and he knows more. But he never lost it. I think he's going to be a contender. I don't think you can take him out of the running for anything.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you see coming for next year?
Next year, I mean, obviously McLaren's still going to be. They're not gonna just be like, okay, cool, new car, we suck. Like, they're gonna keep everything
Right.
moving forward, business as usual. But I just feel like you said, Ferrari has two amazing drivers. Lewis is nowhere near washed up. I don't care what anybody says.
Absolutely.
He just has had a rough transition into a new team after being with the same squad for 20 plus years over between both teams that he was with, same motor setup, same power units throughout that time, and then jumping over to not only a new car, but a new culture, a
Big time.
new kind of set in place ways with Ferrari. I mean, they're one of the oldest out there to ever do what they do across all racing platforms. They're set in their ways with stuff, and so is Lewis because he is the greatest of all time. And I think this year was a transition year that did not go the way any of them, any of us, anybody who's been a Lewis fan, Ferrari fan, whatever fan you are,
Yeah.
was not expecting this. But I think next
Mhm.
year with the new cars, an off season to be able to really kind of dial things down, hopefully as a team, maybe make some adjustments throughout the rankings, not necessarily saying getting rid of people, but having maybe a team engineer on the other line for Lewis that actually listens to what he has to say might be a little different. But I think that Fred sees it. His
Mhm.
interview about how both Lewis and I really underestimated the transition. They all understand what's going on. I just think they really need to get on the same page, but we've got new cars. We've got something new, so I think Ferrari is gonna be, up there, especially with Charles. Like you said, he's hungry. He's had a very rough year. He's gonna wanna bounce back, and then, obviously, you can't count Max out unless he quits.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then again, the rookies, like if Hadjar goes to Red Bull, it's going to be very interesting if he gets in a car that works with what he's been doing this year.
Can I
Seeing,
comment on that thought real quick?
yeah,
I really hope he doesn't go to Red Bull next year, and I hope they let him marinate in the lower team here for another year.
yeah. I don't think they're going to keep Yuki though because of how bad he's been doing. And they need somebody to do
I
it. And they're
know.
not going to bring Lawson back. They already did that.
I hate to see the Red Bull curse continue for this
Yeah.
second seat.
But it's a new car. We'll see what happens with it. But honestly, just bringing it back a little bit for next week, I think that it's going to be obviously the McLaren shootout. If Charles can shake off what happened, because again, that wasn't his fault. He did nothing wrong. He had the line. It was a rookie mistake that caused him to get hit. Shake it off. Move to next week. He won it last year. I'm not saying he's going to win it again, but I think he can step up on a podium if he runs like he did. And then if Max keeps doing what he's doing, I think that it's going to be a four-car dogfight with the McLarens off in the distance, unfortunately.
If you had to pick a 1, 2, 3, who do you think?
1, 2, 3 right now.
Yep. We're going to review it next week.
1, 2, 3. I'm going to go Lando, Oscar, and Charles.
I like it. I like it. I think we're going to get Lando, Charles, Oscar.
Wow.
I don't know what it is. I think Charles is going to be pumped up.
I thought you were gonna push him out completely.
I thought about it.
That's a big
My
take
heart,
though, but
you
for
know,
Oscar.
my heart wants Kimmy to get up there and redeem himself from wrecking his car. Well, actually, it wasn't his car. Destroying George Russell's car last year.
I want to see Hadjar get back up for back to back. That'd be great. That's where my heart's
Oh, it'd be
at.
crazy. But I would love to see, Kimmy. I'd love to see Kimmy perform well at home. I think he's going to perform better at home. I think he just, last time they raced in Italy, he had his whole high school class came out and then he didn't finish the race.
Yeah.
So, that sentence in itself is kind of crazy to say.
Yeah.
This F1 driver invited his entire high school class, who he's still going to school with.
Yeah, it's not a
out to their
reunion.
race.
It's his high school class.
Like, come on. That's wild. That is wild. And we're going to go through the same thing next year, we're going to have more racers like this, of course, coming up through the ranks as we go. You got
Yeah.
Arvid Lindblad, who's, I think he's still 17. He got his super license earlier this year, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, he'll be in a Red Bull logoed vehicle, whether it's up or down, we'll find out. But it's funny. It's just funny to hear that he's in high school. He just graduated. He got this car. Toto Wolff gifts him this
Car
gorgeous
that he can't
AMG
even
Mercedes.
drive.
He can't legally drive it in Italy because you have to have a special license for certain horsepowers or a certain amount of longevity of license or whatever it is. It's just funny to hear. It's so funny. So what did I do wrong?
Seriously. Well, honestly, I think that kind of wraps up Formula One. We had a fun weekend here in
Yeah,
New England. Staggered Fest was a blast.
it was.
Lots of action. Friday, Saturday saw drifting, time attack.
Oh yeah.
It's Saturday was just loaded. We
Oh,
had some
nonstop.
great action on the skid pad, but then Clubhouse was just fully loaded. These guys were throwing it. We're gonna get some footage out sometime this week. It's just been a little
Yeah.
busy for both of us, but we're gonna get some footage out for that. But I mean, we saw some insane cars on time attack. I mean, what was our favorite?
Oh man,
The
there was that
Datsun.
Datsun 510 was crazy.
The
It's
Datsun
between
was
that and the
insane.
Volvo.
I still
There
think
was that Volvo,
dude,
the flying brick.
the
Just
Datsun
nuts.
just screamed. It was
It
it sounded like a demon coming over the hill every
did.
single time. You couldn't see it, but you could hear it on the straightaway, and then it took another 10 seconds for it to get to you.
Oh,
Sounded like it was right next to
nuts.
us.
I knew it. That and the that R34
Good
Skyline that was going on.
God.
I only saw it go out once or twice, but my God,
Yeah, they
it
couldn't
could
hook.
not keep the tires on the car. It was like, I mean, we got to look under the hood before it went out, and you know, it
RB20
obviously is. It
turbo
was
as
pretty
big as
built,
my head. Beautiful.
but that just wasn't what I expected to happen.
No.
I expected it to kind of hook up.
No,
But
that
no,
thing
just
needed some
couldn't
drag
do
slicks
nothing.
on the back and a straightaway. It had no business being out there on a road course. For how that thing was set up,
Absolutely.
no business.
Gorgeous vehicle though, my God.
Yeah, we saw some cool cars though. There was a lot and talked to some cool people. Our buddy
Yeah.
Matt was out for his last one. We got some footage of him. Unfortunately, we didn't get any rides with him because he had to cut it short and had some family emergency come up. He had to dip out completely. But we saw some people throwing it down all day long into the night. Cougar.
No, that was
The drift
that is
Cougar.
the coolest car I've seen at Thompson drifting ever. That is
And
just
the
so
dude
cool.
could throw down, dude. He did
I got some
not.
crazy.
Ugh.
I got some crazy pictures of that car going sideways. I actually got a really nice picture of it too, sitting in the paddock where it was.
Yeah.
It's the only American car in the middle of all these crazy JDM cars. It was just and the thing's it looks like a rust bucket on purpose, but it's
on purpose.
And the thing was awesome. It's an old school 60s Cougar with raised T's on it. Like, it's such a strange build. My dad would have burst into flames looking at it. Like, what are you doing with my classic muscle car? But
you could tell that thing was some form of either a welded or an LSD every time it went around the current turn.
The thing was just awesome. Such a cool car. There was that. I mean, we had some wild Beamers, absolutely wild Beamers.
Track attack, yeah, the time attack cars were really set up nicely. There were some guys that do that on a weekly basis.
Yeah,
like monthly basis. They've got the whole hauler and everything set up. I do believe that was a family because father and son were working on one car, and it was either a brother or a friend in the white one. And so like we got up close and personal to some of those cars. You could just see like you can't drive those on the street.
No, the craftsmanship in some of these cars was I got some interior shots of those cars in there. The build quality,
the Mercedes swapped E30 or E30,
because that makes sense, right?
Yeah. But it sounded so mean. It was disgusting.
I'm gonna put a BMW and I'm gonna take my BMW and put a Mercedes engine in it because why not? Sure.
All the R33s, the 34s that were there, the couple wagons that were for sale, like it was just cool.
And the
seeing
one
all that.
Naturally aspirated Corolla, just hucking it as hard as he could.
Screaming.
Awesome. I felt like I was in the middle of an Initial D show. It was just awesome.
Yeah.
Eurobeats playing in my head as I'm watching it go by. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic show.
Then honestly, like this is the second time I've gone to it, and I will say Staggered puts on an amazing event. Lock City Drift being like the ones who were helping set up with time attack and with obviously the drifting. Everybody there put on a great time. Everybody's always those guys who were standing around their car, you're taking pictures. They're like, hey, do you want us to move so you can get a better picture of our cars?
It was awesome.
Like, just everyone's so nice there, so welcoming no matter what. And I love seeing the crowds getting bigger too, because you're seeing people of all ages, just young kids coming for the first time, seeing these amazing cars. These guys awesome dudes, these women. I mean, we had the drift queens, I
Yeah.
think it was, or the
Yeah.
drift ladies, full woman group throwing down. Beautiful. That pink car was gorgeous. I can't even remember what that was.
It was gorgeous vehicle.
Yeah,
Just the paintwork on it was bar none. I mean, just
yeah.
gorgeous.
And so, like, it was just a really cool time seeing everybody out there and seeing, like, I've been going to these Lock City events since, like, 2020, since we moved out to Webster, and just seeing how much it's grown. I mean, when I was going there, you could maybe see 20 cars full of spectators, and that was it. Now you're
Mhm.
going on a Friday night just to watch a drift event, and you can barely get parking if you're there past 6. And even events like Staggered, like, throughout the day, we just kept seeing the lot filling and filling and filling, and it's really cool to see the car community starting to grow even more. And it's
Absolutely.
events like that that are doing it. So,
Absolutely. That's what we need.
yeah. I know that, I did check the schedule for Thompson. We got mass tuning, 2-day event, which is just kinda like open track days. Anybody with a car and the need for speed, um, can go out there and sign up and obviously pay a fee for it, but it's really cool because you get to see some cars that don't normally go to events like Staggered. They're more private, and you just see them throw down on trying to do their fastest times. They're not racing each other. They're just out there to have a good time with it. Mass Tuning does a great job on those events. So I might try and hit up one of those. And then dude, I think there's like at least 3 days of city this month. There's a Friday,
Really?
Saturday event, and then I believe there's a Sunday event. Might try and get to those because I mean, got, I think December 6th is the last Lock City Drift event, and then we're done
Yeah.
until April,
Yeah.
March or April. So it's like I want to go and try and get as much as we can. And I know that you and I started talking. We're thinking about doing the go-kart league again. So
Yeah.
that's going
Absolutely.
to be a winter league, so we can have something to talk about when we're dying from no races going
Oh, I
on.
know.
I mean,
Yeah. It's the worst time of the year.
we'll obviously have some GT racing around the world that's still going to be going
Yeah.
on. So racing doesn't stop completely. We might find some lawnmower races to start commentating on. I don't know, but we'll have some fun with it. But no, honestly, I mean, we've got next week. We're looking forward to a good showing with Monza, and we're going to be getting some footage out there from this weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, I think I'm all set for today. What about you? You got anything?
No, as always, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X. Give us a follow and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you found us. It helps out a lot, and we'd love to have as many people come along on this as we can. And as always, keep the throttle down, keep the conversation wide open, and we'll catch you next time.
Later.